Hello everyone, Robert Thompson with ArcTracker here. This short video is going to take you through the process of how you handle a request as an Architecture Review Committee member or ARB member, and we'll make it quick so you don't take too much of your time today. First thing you'll get as a ARB member is notified that there's a new request. You'll get that by email, or if you've signed up for texting, you'll get a text version. The email will look very much like this. It'll say it comes from no reply at arctracker.email. So if you want to make sure that that particular email address is cleared for you to receive, you'll make sure you get all your notifications. But here's an example. It says somebody has submitted an ARC request for an address to do the fencing. The request is titled Adding a Fence. Tells you when the homeowner has indicated they wish to get started, and then there's a link in the signature you can click on. So let's go ahead and click on that link. It will launch a browser window right to your login page. So as an ARB member signing up for ArcTracker, you were given a role. So you enter your email address here and you'll choose the role. Now I have many roles here, but you'll just have probably two. But choose your ARC member or ARC chair role. You'll be required to have a password because all ARC members are required to have passwords. Into that, and when you get in, you will see the request that's waiting for you to review. Here it is right here. A couple of things to note about this. The little exclamation mark here means that the request has a special exception that the homeowner is asking for. It doesn't mean anything bad, it just says this homeowner is asking for something special, and when we open the request you'll be able to see that. At glance you'll also be able to see if you have voted on this or if any other ARC members have voted already. The A stands for approved, the D stands for denied. You can see in this case that no one has voted yet on this request. The request is a status of submitted. And what I'm going to do right now is just click to open the request. We can actually start reviewing the request. There are questions that the homeowner answered here. You can see the first question is my proposed fence 6 feet white vinyl? The homeowner said yes. My fence will connect to my house no less than 20 feet from the front edge of the house. He has a no on this one, and hopefully he has explained why. Yes, he's read the guidelines. You can see the homeowner's information here, phone number, email address, house number, so forth. Adding a fence, and here's his description. I want to add a fence in my backyard, 6-foot white vinyl fencing, attached survey, 2 gates. Remember we talked about the special exceptions. Here is what it says. The fence will start 17 feet from the front of the house to cover the AC unit, which explains why he did not click yes on that particular requirement. So he's asking for the exception to cover his AC unit. Right down here is his attachment. There can be multiple attachments on a request. When you click on it, obviously this wasn't a survey, this is an example, but this is a picture of his proposed fence, I guess. Let me get back to the request. In this particular community, deposits are required. Sometimes your property manager may be the one that says, okay, a deposit has been received or a fee has been paid. I'm going to go ahead and click this right now just for purposes of saying getting this request done pretty quickly. This is a section where we will actually vote. So you can see there are 3 members of the committee. I can vote to approve or deny, or I can abstain from the vote. There's the status down here that allows you to update the status to under review. Under review means that this request will be locked so that the homeowner cannot make any further changes while we review. And then there's approved override, which is an optional status available to communities that allows a chairperson to override approve a request if they need to. The last section here is the communications and update log, and I'm going to say to the homeowner, you did not send the survey, please attach, and then click post. And when I click post, it's logged in the request here. That message was sent out to the homeowner by email and is also copied to my fellow ARC members. So as a committee, we're always aware of what each other is saying and doing. Okay, but for purposes of our demonstration today, I'm going to go ahead and vote to approve, even without the survey. I'm going to record the vote, and there it is. Now, if one of these other people votes to approve, the request would reach the required 51%. I am going to use a particular feature that we make available for having meetings in person, and that is if you have one device at a physical meeting and you're logged in as a chairperson, it can click on a vote for a fellow ARC member and then allow that fellow ARC member to enter their password and record the vote. What that means essentially is that if you're having a meeting with 3 or 5 members of a committee, you can share a device and just pass it around, have the person record their vote and give it back to you. So that's one of the things that the ARC chairperson's role has. What you'll notice now is that this particular account is set up so that the request, having met the 51%, does not automatically approve. Instead, what happens is an email comes to the chairperson saying, hey, this request is ready to be approved. And in fact, let's see if we can find that email. I'm going to go back to my email here. This is the chairperson. And let's do a refresh. And there it is. So here's a request notification. It says, hello ARC Chair. The approval threshold has been met for this particular request. Please log in and update this request as status of approved. And then I can enter any conditions for approval. So let's go do that. I'm going to change this request now to approved, as is the wish of the committee. And you'll notice that now I have an area I can enter conditions for approval. My keyboard's a little slow here. Obtain permission of your neighbor when doing this work. Whatever. And then I close the request. Now this conditional for approval here, when I close the request, an email that gets sent to the homeowner, it will include this condition for approval if it's in here. If the account is set up so that it doesn't require a chairperson sign off, which means it approves automatically, there is no opportunity to enter any of these optional conditions for approval. But what we suggest is that the committee enter those conditions in the communication log, which gets documented with the request. Anyway, let's go ahead and close this request. And that's it. I've actually processed this request and actually communicated it back to the homeowner. The homeowner will get a approval email. Let's go take a look at that really quickly. Those emails, by the way, get copied. Those approval emails get copied to the members of the committee. So if I refresh my email here, I should have a notification, a copy of the email that went to the homeowner. I'm waiting. Where did it go to? Oh, right here. Okay. Here I am as a member of the committee, and there it is. This is the email that went to the homeowner. There's an approval letter that can be attached. We'll show what that looks like. Here's the email. It says you must obtain permission from your neighbor when doing your work. So that's the conditions for approval. So there's an example of what was sent out. The approval letter, which the homeowner can use to provide to, let's say, a city or a vendor to indicate document approval. Here's what it would look like. It's a PDF document they can print out or forward on to their whoever they need to. It says this is the request that was approved. It states their description. It states the conditions for approval and whatever other text you have in here. Okay, so that's the letter. The last thing I want to show you as a member of the committee is, let's go back to here, how you can look at past requests. So let's go take a look. Right now, there are no requests waiting for me to be processed because I just approved that one open request. Well, if I want to go look at all the past requests, I go up to this reports button up here. I click that, and it defaults to, wow, let's reset the filter. It should default to the last 30 days. Like I said, it's right, last 30 days. So there's my last 30 days of requests, but I can change that and say I want to look at all the requests from last year or as far back as I want. So I'm going to go back to 2019, oh sorry, and I'm going to go back to January 1st. Okay, and now my list is going to change here. It is my list of all the requests back to January 1st of last year. It's a bit overwhelming. I only want to look at, let's say, the requests that were on Peacock Circle. So I can click that, and there's all the requests that were on Peacock Circle. I only want to focus on requests that were done at 5645, and there's the one request there is for that particular address. Alternatively, I can remove that. I can say I really want to look at all fencing requests. So I click fencing, and now it's going to give me only the fencing request. Okay, I can download this report to Excel if I need to, and then manage it any way I want to, or print it out. So that's our access to the past requests. And of course, once I find the requests that I was looking for, or requests, I can always click to open them, and it actually opens the actual request. I can go back and see what my conversation was about that request and what my decision was. Here's the conversation, if you recall, and I can find my approval letter if I need to. It's in here, attached. Where's it? The approval letter, and their attachments. That's the process of approving requests in ArcTracker. There's a lot more, but please feel free to join our monthly webinar or contact our support line for any assistance you need. Good luck using ArcTracker to make things fast, easy, and safe for your neighborhood.